What's up, guys? Motor Munitions live in New York, coming to you with a story that everybody is talking about in the Northeast, let alone possibly the country. And that's the invasion of these drones in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. We're going to talk about that. If anyone is in here and you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. Let me know you can see me okay. I'm going to be sharing some news articles, right? We're going to be talking about, what these drones might be, where they've been, what they might be up to. Is there any risks? What are some of the speculations and things of that nature? So, guys, we'll give it a few minutes. We'll let some people get into this. In the meantime, like I said, if anyone is out there, let me know if you can hear me okay. We're going to say it a few times, but a big shout out to one of my buddies, Joe Tonelli at Proud Nation Apparel, always hooking it up, not only with good gear, t-shirts, hats, but he's the one that actually helped create my logo for Motor Munitions. So, Joe, if you're listening, big shout out. For you folks that don't know Joe, once this video uploads, I'll put a link to where you can find him if you're interested in some cool gear. But like I said, let's give it a minute. Holidays are around the corner. I hope you folks are getting ready for the holidays. I see we might have a few people in there. Let me know how my volume levels are. I'm always being told I'm screaming at the microphone. That's just a New Yorker in me, so I do apologize in advance. And you guys out there, let me know. And before we get into tonight, big shout out to everyone that joined me in Times Square a few nights ago. Really appreciate it. We're going to be doing a lot more of these live streams. Even though we are in the headquarters tonight, we're going to be going back into the field this weekend looking for some of these drones and see if we can catch some real live video of them in action. So with that being said, guys, let me know, what do you think that these things are, right? A lot of people are going to say anytime the government denies it's them, most likely it's them, right? We'll get into that in a minute, but real curious to hear what you guys have to say. I do want to pull up a map and just show you guys, give you a little backdrop on where some of these things have been spotted recently, primarily New Jersey, and real interesting places, right? Right near Trump's golf course. They've also been spotted right at a Army base called Picatinny Arsenal. Not sure if Army was the correct word, but it is a military installation. They've also been reported at one of the largest reservoirs in New Jersey called Round Valley Reservoir. I was out there last Saturday. Unfortunately, we did not get to see anything, but we are going to head back out there this weekend and just see if we can get our eyes on any footage. But guys, let me share my screen with you for a minute. I'm going to pull up a map, and hold on one sec. And in the meantime, let me know how you folks are doing. Let me know if you can see my screen. I'm going to try to pull up this map. I believe it's interactive. Give me 1 second, guys. And let me know if you guys can, I don't even know if we have anyone in here right now, but hold on. Let me see if I can. All right, I'm seeing that it's up, but let me just enlarge it. Give me 1 second. I want to give you guys a backdrop of what counties these drones have been in. Like I said, primarily northern New Jersey, but not only have there been sightings from very credible people, but also law enforcement and everything else. We're actually going to show you guys some video. I'm sorry about that. Let me just get back 1 second. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me pull this up. Still kind of new to this, so bear with me, but I do have some interesting footage I do want to show you guys. So you can see exactly where these things have been spotted. All right, let's see if this works, guys. Gonna go ahead and share my screen again. All right, so let me know if you can see this. I hope you can. So this is the map where you can see the counties, right? And if you look, you can see a lot of action right here. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. Hopefully that zooms in on the screen. I'm just looking at my TV to make sure it is working. Okay, great. So guys, if you look in the middle, in the green, that's Morris County, right? I'm pretty sure that's where Donald Trump's golf course is. I think that is where Picatinny Arsenal is. But all of these areas is where the drone activity has been since Thanksgiving over New Jersey. You can see it's affecting, what do we have, 8 different counties, which is really, really interesting. Now what I want to do is just wanted to show you a little bit of this. I'm going to play this footage for you guys for 1 sec. I hope it comes in. Let me wait for it to come up on the screen. I might have to reshare. Hold on 1 second. Found this pretty interesting. Hey, what's up, Tech Money? Appreciate you dropping in, my man. Got some interesting footage tonight. I haven't done something like this before, but I got a bunch of tabs open, bunch of news articles. Like I said, we're going to talk about the drones in the Northeast, but we're also going to talk about the history that they've had in Colorado over the last year. We're going to talk about the Chinese national that was arrested a few hours ago flying a drone over Space Force base in California. Not sure if it's related, but a lot of activity going on, as always, right, with the invasion of the American airspace under the Biden administration. What else is new, guys? We went from blimps a few years ago to now drones that the FBI has been investigating for over a month and still has no clue what they are. But let me pull this up. Hear it. I'm looking at the TV to make sure. Yeah, tech, it is a lot of activity. All right, I'm going to put in the screen. Guys, this is my first time doing this. I feel like a news anchor almost. Just kidding. Hold on, bear with me, guys. All right, let's go ahead and play this. All right, looks like it's a black screen. All right, there we go, guys. Let me know if you can hear this. I'm going to hit the play button. This is a 35-second clip. Guys, this is in Spring Lake, New Jersey, as you can see. Look at the size of this thing. Now, all of these drones, I just want to point out, they all do have almost like an airplane, right? We know that these aren't aliens, obviously. I'm pretty sure that that's a fact. But you can see they all have red, strobing, whatever it is. Very interesting. Some of these for this mid-sized SUVs actually hover in one place for a few hours at a time. So let me know what you guys think. I don't know if we have anyone in here from the tri. If we do, I'd love to see if you guys have seen any of these in person yourself. What are your thoughts on some of these? A lot of speculation, right? So I'm going to share some more footage. We're going to get into, like I said, a little bit more of a backdrop of this stuff. One thing that is real concerning, regardless where these things are coming from, is it showed the gaps in national security. I think we saw that with the weather balloon a few years ago. I'm going to pull up another article right now from a congressional hearing talking about the big gaps that the U.S. has when it comes to counter-drone readiness. Very interesting. Let me just pull this up again for a second. Very interesting, though, guys. Let me share my screen and show you this. Got a lot to discuss tonight. I'm going to be looking in the chat. We're going to be bouncing around. But primarily, like I said, is really to just talk about not only what's been going on in the Northeast lately, but what seems like a history, a very long history of an invasion of our airspace. Listen, government's never going to admit if it's theirs or not. We all know that. But the fact that the FBI has been investigating supposedly this for over a month and has no clue of anything is pretty interesting. Another thing I find really interesting is the states, and a friend sent me a clip. We're going to play. New Jersey had a town hall meeting today. A bunch of mayors showed up. We're going to get into that clip in a minute. But from what I heard, pretty useless. A lot of guys were very disappointed with the lack of information coming from their own government officials in New Jersey. We're going to play that in 2 minutes, guys. Let me just share this with you real quick. I appreciate all you guys tuning in, as always. Like I said, I'm still fairly new to a lot of this stuff, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. Always trying to bring you guys some important stories. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Let's get that friggin' black screen. Bear with me, guys, 1 second. I know it's going to change over. I think it's a little bit of a delay. And let's wait till it does. All right, there we go, guys. All right, so I found this really interesting. This came out actually today, right? Congressional hearing reveals gaps in counter-drone readiness amid concerns about New Jersey drone sightings. You know what's crazy about this? It shouldn't have taken to this friggin' drones came into New York and New Jersey for this to be a concern. We've all been watching the fucking Ukrainian and Russian war for the last 2 years. There's been 99% drone warfare. I think we've all seen technology as citizens. We knew that this was coming. And when I say we knew that this was coming, not saying that anything is happening right now, but like this congressional hearing revealed, guys, it's just a matter of time. Unfortunately, probably before something does happen that is drone related, right? Our borders have been open for years. God knows who's in this country. God knows what they're assembling in their homes. Not saying that's the case, right? There's no answer to this. Could be military, could be anything. But like this says, very concerning, right? And not going to get into this in detail. You know, this is one of a few articles. But once again, just the lack of readiness in the United States. And we saw with that weather balloon a few years ago when it comes to securing our own airspace, whether it's from a domestic, you know, whether this is from domestic people fucking around, whether this is from military, like I said, who knows? But the complete lack of communication, especially to the people that are paying taxes, right? You want to go fly some shit, go do that in Canada. Don't do it with people that are paying the amount of taxes that we're doing here. Now, I'm going to bring up another article that actually talks about, and this is coming from military sources. I'll pull up the article showing where we got it. But speaking about what some of these drones might be doing, if it is military, before they're used in actual real missions. So let's give you guys a little taste of that, because I found this article very interesting as well. Let me just see where it was. And it's also real interesting, too. Like I said, there's a lot to cover tonight. The locations that these things have been flying over, not only in New Jersey, but in the past in Colorado, Virginia, Nebraska, and other places. There is a lot of history when it comes to this. So give me a minute, guys. Hold on one sec. And while I pull this up, let me know. Do you guys have any feedback? Like I said, we'd love to hear your thoughts, what you guys are thinking, where you guys live, right? Maybe there's stuff that happened in other states that just were not made public or just weren't in the news as much as what happens to be in the news right now. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm actually going to play this video off of my phone. I received this from a close friend, and they got it from one of the meetings that happened. So let me just play this. This just came out.
It was worthless.
Hold on 1 second, guys. So a New Jersey lawmaker walks out of a meeting about the mysterious drones. He was a Jersey state representative and former U.S. Army helicopter pilot. Said the FBI, DHS, and state police have no answers about mysterious drones, where they're coming from. It's real interesting, guys. And like I said, so much to cover tonight. But when you look at all the agencies involved in this, right, you're talking about Department of Defense, DHS, the FAA, the FBI, not to have any answers, or maybe they got all the answers, right? And we're just never going to know, like we never do, which is pretty interesting. But let me just say the FBI said Wednesday it had no answers regarding dozens of drone sightings reported across New Jersey skies in recent weeks, right? We all know this. The agency's been investigating reports for over a month now, right? Residents began reporting drones in other areas after the FBI asked for the public help in identifying. But guys, check out this video from a New Jersey lawmaker. I'll share the link.
It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything. Okay, it was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it. But they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. I drove 2 hours to be here today. Spent an hour in there. I got to drive 2 hours back. The biggest waste of 5 hours in my entire life.
So why do you think they called this meeting?
No idea. Why would you call me to tell people you don't know anything? I have no idea. And then when the legislators were asked questions, there were no answers. Here's the most frustrating part. The Colonel of State Police said that he had a helicopter of his flying over above one of these drones, a 6-foot drone or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. And he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. But where'd it go? Who knows? Didn't want to follow it because he didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, honestly.
Do they have any idea where these drones are originating?
No, they don't. They would. Maybe if they followed that sucker when it landed, they would know. But they don't. This is a complete lack of effort, in my opinion. I'm trying to figure this out. This is not about ability. We have the technology. We have the people. We have the training. We have the resources. We have the money. It's just a lack of effort. I mean,
why?
I don't know. They should be saying, you know what they should have done today with productive use of our time, if they didn't know anything, come in there and say, hey, legislators, we don't know anything. But if you get us these 10 things, do these 10 things for us, and the governor calls in this kind of action, we can figure it out. Will you help us? And then we would have helped them. But instead it was just excuse after excuse, and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
You've been in the service, right?
Yeah, I was an attack helicopter pilot, Apache helicopter pilot in the Army, and I helped stand up the initial unmanned aircraft training battalion in the aviation sector of the Army. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and these guys are not doing the job they need to do to figure out what's going on, and that is the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the state police.
And they're saying no threat to.
So guys, let me know if you heard that. Hope the mic is coming in good. Pretty crazy, right? This is from a New Jersey lawmaker, drove 2 hours to this meeting just to get some answers. This is coming actually from, like you said, an attack helicopter pilot. No answers to what's going on. Some of these things they said, and I've heard it from multiple people now, the big ones actually sound sometimes like hovering helicopters. They said they could range anywhere. People are seeing them from 500 feet off of the ground, had a little too much coffee, all the way up to 10,000 feet in the air. So really interesting. Nobody's denying that these things are up there. It's just, what the hell are they? Now, guys, I'm going to dive into another article real quick. This one, It's funny. It's going to talk about the U.S. military confirms a drone swarm invaded airspace around the base. Now, this one goes back to October. Let me pull this up. I think you guys are going to find this real interesting. And then I think questions really have to be asked, right, about how often is this happening? It seems to be happening in multiple states, like I said, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Nebraska. And it seems to be happening with either large groups of drones or big size drones like SUV, which I mentioned earlier, or a combination of both. So guys, let me just share this with you. This I found really interesting and not even sure, once again, how many of you even heard of this looking into these situations. It's real interesting, how many of them are out there. So like I said, this article is from October 2024. U.S. military confirms drones invaded airspace. This was actually over Langley Air Force Base, right? So mysterious swarm of drones flew in restricted airspace around U.S. military base in Virginia over several nights in December of 2023. Guys, it's December 2024, literally 1 year later, and we're having the same kind of description, right, of swarms of drones flying over military areas, right? Once again, Picatinny Arsenal in New Jersey. These things began operating in airspace around Joint Base Langley on December 6, 2023. The military base experienced multiple additional drone incursions throughout December 2023. But according to that report, as many as a dozen drones were involved in the swarming incidents around Joint Base Langley. The drones also operated around another U.S. military installations in Virginia, including the world's largest naval port, Naval Station Norfolk, and other installations, and another installation serving as headquarters for the Elite SEAL Team 6. Wow, like guys, how the fuck does that happen? I don't care who owns these things, who's flying them, whatever the situation is, you'd have to believe that these things are military if they're coming so close to these bases. Now, if they're not military, why the fuck aren't they being shot down? That's the question we really have. We saw once again with the Chinese balloon, last year, was it last year or the year before? But we waited for that thing to fly across the entire country before any action was taken. Not saying it was a threat, but we shouldn't just be allowing stuff to fly in our airspace that people could be using to test, our radar capabilities, our reactions, the kind of emotional effect it has on citizens, and things of that nature. Very interesting. So, like I said, a lot to share guys tonight. Let me know what you guys think. But obviously, once again, this is not something that has been new. And here's another interesting article. It just shows the lack of communication and the lack of knowledge, whether it's with the drones in the Northeast or the drones in other areas. But once again, another reoccurring theme. Nobody seems to have any fucking answers. Let me go ahead and adjust one with you. Actually, this isn't it. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. All right, let's try this again. All right, another interesting article, once again from October 2022. Remember, the drones in the Northeast, guys, started flying, from what I'm hearing, it's probably right around Thanksgiving. So this was probably a month prior to that. And hopefully, I know you guys got a black screen. It's a little bit of a delay. Give it 1 second. And the interesting thing about this is the duration of this event and how it's similar to the duration of the event that we're seeing in the Northeast. Let me get this going for you guys. All right, can you see? Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Hey, Carbon Q, how's it going? Much love. Thank you for jumping in. Always a pleasure to have you. Everybody out there, Carbon Q is such a sweetheart. She's a moderator on a lot of channels like Tactical Turkeys and other channels, and really is also up to date on everything we're discussing tonight. So, guys, if you look at this article, and this is actually from the Wall Street Journal, not that I'm a fan of those folks, but about a month prior to what we were hearing in the Northeast, for 17 days last year, once again, this goes back to December 2023, very similar to what's happening now. For 17 days, this happened. Unidentified drones swarmed an area in Virginia that's home to the military bases we just discussed. Now, guys, when you think about the Northeast, right, like I said, we've been saying since Thanksgiving, right? So you're kind of in that 30-day period. But it's just crazy that this is going on for such a long duration, still with no answers, and obviously the public knows about it. So chime in. Let me know what you guys think. But look at this article. Some had lights, some didn't. I want to point that out. If you look at this right here, when they were talking to witnesses in New Jersey, a lot of folks were saying, even some of the local government officials were saying, the problem is by the time you get eyes on these things, they disappear. So once again, it's funny. These things are flying with lights, but it seems they have the ability to also go dark when they want to go dark. Maybe thus the reason nobody's seeing exactly where these things are landing or taking off from. You know, obviously with night vision and everything else in cameras, you know, it's easy to have technology to fly these things blindly to the public and still do whatever they're doing out there. Once again, this went on for 17 days. For you folks jumping in, this is from last year. And some of them were estimated to be 20 feet long and flying at more than 100 miles an hour. Others were smaller quadcopters that occasionally hovered. Guys, that's pretty wild, right? We all know civilian aircraft, at least for the most part, that's affordable to the everyday person, isn't 20 feet long, doesn't fly at 100 miles an hour, and isn't hovering undetected without being picked up by folks. It's pretty interesting. So at the end of the day, it's like, where the fuck are these things coming from and what are they doing? So we're going to get into that. You know, we're going to talk about that a little more. Now, I also did want to share, which is interesting, and I don't know if you guys heard about this, but this actually came up right after I scheduled my live. I'm going to pull this up for a second. This literally just happened, guys, a couple hours ago. And let me know, too, if you like me sharing some content. I figure it's better than me just rattling off. There's a lot of stuff right now online about this coming from, you know, potentially some credible sources, and just hearing whether it's from government officials, local or state authorities, residents, people with businesses, whatever. We're going to show some footage. We're going to talk about it. There's no definite answer as to what is going on, but we're trying to get to the bottom of it. So, guys, check this out. Like I said, this just happened a few hours ago, and in no way am I saying that this is connected, but check this out, guys. I'm going to make this page a little bit bigger. But a few hours before we jumped online, a Chinese citizen arrested after allegedly flying a drone and taking photos of Space Force Base in California. Let me know if you can see my screen. I know we always get that a little bit of a black screen for a minute. And let me check the chat. Like I said, really appreciate you guys being in here. Yeah, tech, tons of activity. It's really crazy. All right, glad you guys can see the screen. So I don't know if you guys were aware of this, But once again, like how does this stuff happen over our military installations? You would think, we're going to get into that in a second, with the technology though nowadays, guys, it's got to be some kind of, whether it's an EMP rifle, which they do have. I've been looking them up. They're not, I don't think, for civilian use, but there's ways to take down drones with a little bit of an EMP blast. You would think that those would be fucking automatically stationary at some of these bases. But guys, let's get right into it, right? Let me read. I know you guys can all read, but guys, check this out. Federal investigators arrested a 39-year-old man this week after accusing him of flying a drone and taking pictures of Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. An arrest that comes amid high-profile drone swarms at U.S. military bases. Yin Pao Zhou, which I definitely probably mispronounced, but he's a 39-year-old Chinese citizen and a U.S. resident. He was arrested Monday at San Francisco International Airport prior to an outbound flight to China. He had most recently returned to the U.S. from China this past February. So seems like he held both statuses. Seems agents searched Zhou's drone. They had a federal search warrant to do so and saw several photographs of the Space Force Base taken from an aerial viewpoint. Scroll down a little bit. Officials also said a probe of his cell phone showed a Google search roughly a month earlier for Vandenberg Space Force Base drone rules. He allegedly messaged someone about hacking his drone to allow it to fly higher than it could otherwise. So that's really interesting. Few interesting things said right there in that piece right there. Obviously, this guy was doing his research. He's looking at how he could penetrate a base. What are the rules for a drone? And it seems like even with the FAA and everything else, there's not much stopping any drone from doing anything that it wants at any given time, at least in the United States. Once again, very surprised by the lack of controls, especially with the technology we have to help control some of these things. The other thing, sorry guys, I don't know if that was rude, but I'm thirsty. Had to have a sip of water. The other thing is, it's interesting that some of these drones, if you look at it, he had the ability to hack a civilian drone to make it fly higher, which it otherwise wouldn't be able to do. I don't know drone technology. To me, that's pretty interesting. I remember back in the days riding some of the go-karts at Action Park. There was a thing to make them go faster. That's a story for a different day, but really interesting that you could hack into some of these drones and make them have what seems like better features and functionality than they do right out of the box. And that I'm not surprised by with all the different types of software and everything else out there. So guys, I thought about that. Very interesting. Hey, Kiga, it's just Iran sending drones. Yeah, exactly, right? I'm not ruling that out at all. Very possible. Very, very possible. We got Leah Paragallo in the house. Thanks for tuning in. She always has great feedback. She was a big supporter last week in Times Square. And Project Blue Beam. You know what? We're going to look into that. I'm going to take a note of that, Leah. Very interesting, right? I know you're very up to date on a lot of this stuff, always sharing some good intelligence. So I appreciate it. And we do need to look into that. All right, guys. Now, I'm going to pull up a few other things. Like I said, bear with me for a second. Keep talking amongst yourselves in the chat. You guys are all like-minded individuals. What I'm going to pull up next, folks, is we're going to go to the FAA website, the Federal Aviation Administration. And I found something really interesting over there. They have what's public. They call it the UAS Sightings Report, unmanned aircraft sightings from pilots, citizens, law enforcement, and other folks. Now, unfortunately, this report is only quarterly, right? Every 3 months. So the last one to come out was September. It's going to be real interesting, guys, to keep our eyes out on this report come January so we can see all of the activity in greater detail for October, November, and December. Let me go ahead, share my screen, and show you guys what this looks like. Keep your eyes on this website, like I said, a few weeks from now, and it's going to be real interesting to see what's on this report. So bear with me, trying to navigate around. All right, guys, so you see this? Federal Aviation Administration. If you're on the homepage, go to Unmanned Aircraft Systems, UAS. You're then going to go to Resources and Other Topics, Public Records, and then UAS Sightings. Guys, this is my first live stream on this. I wanted to jump on tonight. We are going to be live in the field this weekend with a special guest who's going to introduce herself, I think. Stay tuned for that. But guys, keep your eyes out on this. Very interesting. I'm going to start looking into sightings nationwide and start seeing, like I said, if we could find some patterns with what's going on. So anyway, when you're at this site, you're going to want to scroll down to the resources. And here you can see, guys, like I said, quarterly reports on the UAS sightings. Now, I already have a spreadsheet opened. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second. I'm going to show you guys what these reports look like. When you go to that section, it's going to download a spreadsheet, and you can actually go one by one through each of these sightings. And like I said, they're from residential, they're from citizens, law enforcement, pilots, you name it. Now, keep in mind, a lot of folks don't report everything that they see. I'm probably one of them, but that just is what it is. So guys, let me now actually go over to the spreadsheet and show you what that looks like. Hold on. Actually, can I show you the spreadsheet? Hold on, guys. Yeah, okay. All right, let me know it works. I'm going to share my window, but now you should be seeing a spreadsheet. Give it a minute, it will come up. Let's see what we got. Guys, I don't know why YouTube always has this little delay, but hang in there. Shh, this should be coming up any fucking second. All right, it looks like we're getting there. We went from a black screen to now what looks like a white screen. Hold on, guys. I don't know if any of you guys watched that news guy, Steve Lookner out there, but I'm having a Steve moment. We're having some technical difficulties. I'm going to stay relaxed and try this again. So bear with me. And let's try this again. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. This is a real interesting, oh, here we go. This should work now. Window wasn't up before. Give me a minute. All right, guys, perfect. So you guys can see the spreadsheet. So when you download that report, like I said, it's going to bring up every sighting. I'm going to show you the categories and what it discusses for every sighting, but really interesting stuff. I didn't go through this myself yet, but it's going to talk about the date of the sighting, the state, the city, and then preliminary info, right? And if you look at this one, just as an example, oh, sorry about that. Preliminary info from FAA Ops, New York, New York. Guess I can't click there. Hold on, guys. New York, New York, UAS sighting, 1807 East Kennedy, advised B772, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Now, this is from a pilot reporting it, right? At JFK, reported a gold and black UAS while northeastbound at 1,600 feet. Let me keep scrolling over. At 1,600 feet, 3 southwest. I don't know what that means. JFK, no evasive action taken. New York Port Authority notified. Now, guys, you can tell that that was from an airline pilot because it identified the airport and the flight. Now, let's see if we can find a description that maybe is from a resident. So give me a minute. But either way, guys, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting to keep our eyes on once the latest report comes out for Q4 of this year, where we should see a lot of what's going on detail in the Northeast over the last 30 to 60 days. So let me know what you guys. Hey, I see we got Jennifer Thorpe in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Jen. Appreciate you jumping in. As you know, very interested in what's going on out here in the Northeast. We're not saying anything definitive. We're just having an open conversation about the possibilities and the lack of communication, what's going on when it comes to some of these drones. So guys, I'm going to play another video for you. Let me pause it for a second. This is an FBI rep on the possibility of threat from New Jersey drones. Very interesting. Want to play this video for a second. Let me check the chat, see what's going on. And once again, appreciate all you guys being in here. You know, Jen, they did say Iran. We're going to get into that. We did have a congressional guy say that there was a mothership off of the East Coast launching Iranian drones. The Pentagon denied that. Listen, I don't trust the Pentagon. I don't really trust anybody. But we're going to have this conversation tonight. I want to get everything out there. Any thoughts, anything, it's all on the table. We're going to cover it all. So, guys, let me share this with you. Hold on one second. This is really interesting, too. Once again, this is going to be from an FBI rep on the possibility if these things are a threat to New Jersey. I'm going to make this bigger. I hope you guys can hear it once I play it. This is a 2-minute video, guys. I'm going to let the whole thing play. I think it's well worth it. And I hope you guys can hear it when it comes on. If not, drop something in the chat and let me know you can't hear it. So give it a second. Leah, yes, Leah, you're right. You can't trust anybody. The only one you could trust in this world is mud and munitions. Just kidding, everybody.
What is going on in New Jersey?
So, sir, the FBI and our Newark field office, along with the state and local partners there, the Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity over that part of New Jersey, including proximity to sensitive sites and areas of concern. So we do not attribute that to an individual or a group yet. We're investigating, but I don't have an answer of who's responsible for that, of one or more people that are responsible for those drone flights. But we're actively investigating what the Bureau.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to pause it for 1 sec. Actively investigating this fucking guy. It's been a month. It's been over a month. You're the FBI. Like, get the fuck out of here. You mean to tell me you guys don't know what the hell is going on yet? You're standing there. You're actually sitting there in your fancy suit over a month with taxpayers' money. And trust me, we pay a lot of fucking tax in the Northeast. 30 or 40% when you include sales tax and everything else. And you're going to fucking tell us some bullshit that you guys don't know anything? Anyway, let's play the rest of this.
Bureau has done to aid our state and local partners is what we generally do, enlist the help of the interagency, enlist the help of the public. There's a tip line there that 1-800 call FBI, tips.fbi for
Here's a tip. Do your fucking job.
information from the public that could help us resolve this. It is concerning.
Is the public at risk? Is public safety at risk? Are we concerned that there are nefarious intentions that could cause either national security or a public safety incident that would put Americans at risk?
There's nothing that is known that would lead me to say that, but we just don't know, and that's the concerning part.
I think the fact that we have these unknown drones, UASs, that are flying over either critical or sensitive facilities is exactly why we're having this hearing.
Wow. Fucking great job. Great job for beautiful FBI. Unbelievable, guys, right? Not only do they not know what these things are, they have no idea if they're a danger to us, right? And at the same time, if you're a resident and one of these things is over your fucking house, you're not allowed to shoot it down. Get the hell out of here. What kind of world do we live in? We go to work 5 days a week, some of us 12 hours a day. We pay almost half our money to the government that tells us nothing, flies shit over our houses, tells us, hey, you can buy a house, you can buy property, but anything that flies over your house and stands there and surveils you, you can't shoot it. What kind of world are we living in, folks? Come on. Hey, quick shout out to the people that just joined the chat. What's up, Thomas? Love seeing you in here. What's up, Alex? What's up, Amanda? What's up, Amy? Appreciate all you guys in here, man. Really do. And listen, like I said, you guys that just joined the chat. What are your thoughts on this, guys? What do you think it is? We're all in different states. Thomas, I know you're in Virginia. We just got into it before you joined. Last year, there was a lot of drones flying over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia for 17 days, roughly. So let me know if you've heard anything like that, and be real interesting. What's up, Dalton? Got a lot of people in here tonight. Super excited. We're going to keep going. And like I said, listen, I'm not saying that these things are or aren't anything. The fact is, there's shit flying around up there. We pay a lot of money in taxes. We're not getting answers. We can't do anything about it. So we're on here, we're communicating, and we're trying to put some pieces together, right? Think about it, like I said. We had the Chinese spy balloon. I forgot if it was last year or 2 years ago. Forgive me, guys. We've had the drones over Colorado. We've had them in Virginia. Now they're in the Northeast. Let's not forget, we're going through a presidential transition right now, right? Here's a president who's coming into office. Welcome back, Trump. 2 assassination attempts on him. Now there's drones not too far from his golf course. There was rumors there earlier. I'm going to pull that up. Pentagon denied it. Some folks said that these were Iranian, coming from an Iranian mothership off the East Coast. We all know Iran would love to see Trump dead, probably more than Israel wiped out. So very interesting, guys. In no way am I saying it's Iranian. Not even sure if they have those capabilities. But let's tune in. Let's see what this representative said about the possibility of it being Iranian. And then we'll talk about the Pentagon's response to that. So stay tuned. And let me pull that up, guys. This is crazy, right? This is a big 2A channel, but this is like starting to get into the news a little bit. This is very interesting. This all, in my opinion, coincides with our Second Amendment rights anyway, because like I said, I don't give a shit what state I live in. If I'm in my backyard, something's flying over my house, I'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Now I definitely feel like that guy, Steve Lochner. I'm typing as you guys are watching me. This is pretty crazy. Big shout out to him, Agenda Free TV. And guys, all jokes aside, a big shout out to my friend, NY Prepper for news and all of that stuff. He follows, he has daily alerts multiple times a day. Like I said, I listen to a lot of shit he says. We were actually texting about some of this drone stuff earlier. So another awesome guy to check out. But guys, check this out. This was from the New York Post. I'm going to share this with you. Once again, very interesting. Amanda Moss, a friend of mine seen one here in North Bama. It was big. Wow, interesting. Interesting. I haven't, you know what? I'm going to make a note of that. Like I said, I want to do a lot more research into where these things are nationwide, and I'm going to see if there's any other history in Alabama. Leah loves Steve. Leah, who doesn't like Steve? Great news. That guy cracks me up. All right, guys, I'm pulling up the New York Post. Give me a minute. Hopefully this didn't freeze. Hold on, guys. Fucking New York Post. Oh, is my computer froze? All right, guys, let me know if you can see my screen. This came out earlier today. Like I said, the Pentagon denied it. Mystery New Jersey drones are coming from an Iranian mothership offshore. Congressman suggests should be shot down. That's my type of guy right there. A New Jersey congressman claimed Wednesday that the mysterious drones over the Garden State are from Iran and they're being launched by a mothership parked off the East Coast. I'm going to tell you the real deal. Actually, I skipped a sentence. This is from Rep. Jeff Van Drew, a Republican, said the drones very possibly could be from Iran, citing confidential sources during an appearance on Fox News Wednesday morning. He said, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership that contains these drones, Van Drew said. It's off the East Coast of the United States of America, and they've launched drones. You guys can see the picture. Jen, you're right. They did say that some of these were the size of cars in small SUVs. Really interesting. And that picture looks like a pretty large one. These drones should be shot down, he said, adding the military is on full alert with this. The Pentagon later rebuked Van Drone's claims, insisting that there is no evidence the drones belong to a foreign adversary, but did not offer an explanation either as to what they actually are. Van Drew stood by his statements, however, sending a letter to President Biden imploring him to take action and laying out circumstantial evidence supporting his claims. Now, with all due respect to Van Drew, I don't know why he would send a letter to President Biden. We all know that that guy doesn't know what day of the week it is, and he would probably just spill ice cream all over that letter anyway. So, next paragraph, we have information, and this is quoted by Van Drew. We have information that a sea-based Iranian drone mothership is currently missing from port and that its embarkation, I probably mispronounced that, its embarkation timeline would align with the appearance of New Jersey drones. He wrote the president in a letter obtained by Agula Daf, Israel of American News. And guys, look at these pictures. Drones seemingly pepper the New Jersey skyline. Look at that, folks. What do we got? 2, 4, 6, 8. It's pretty wild if you ask me. I've never seen that many planes in the sky simultaneously. What do you guys think? Let me know. This is pretty interesting. Let's scroll down a little bit and continue this. He added that Iran previously sailed ships near the U.S. and that the country has a sophisticated partnership with China over drone technology. Now, this I don't doubt at all, right? We all know that China, Russia, prior to Assad running out of Syria, North Korea, and the others have formed a very strong relationship under our weak administration over the last 4 years, and goes back even further than that. But when you look at the aggressive nature from countries like China and other ones, This does not surprise me at all. Let's scroll down from that Range Rover article ad. Anyway, and of course, it is the policy of the Iranian government to bring about the destruction of the United States of America, right? We all know that, blah, blah, blah. So this guy's sticking by his story, guys. I don't know. Let me fix my microphone. I don't know. Guy's sticking by his story. What do you think? Like I said, I don't doubt it. I'm not saying that's the case. I don't doubt it. We all know Iran doesn't like us. We all know China and other countries use Iran to do their dirty work, and Iran has others do their dirty work. So very interesting. What we're going to get to in a minute, and let me make a note so I remember it. It's easy to go off track with some of these things. We want to talk about what these drones might be doing. I read an article earlier. I want to pull that up. Very interesting. Whether it's a foreign adversary or our own U.S. military, which chances are that is who it is. Very interesting to hear what some of these drones are capable of when it comes to data collection and other things against people. So, guys, let me see if I can find that article, and I'll pull that up in a minute. Let me also just check out some of the comments. Some good comments tonight, guys. The footage, Thomas, the footage I seen, Jeff, it looked like a helicopter. Yeah, we were speaking about that too, Thomas. They said that some of the low flow flying ones sounded like helicopters also, like they had some kind of propeller. We do know that some of the quad propeller drones, you know, are pretty big. And obviously those propellers are bigger. So really interesting. And anything the size of an SUV, you got to figure, right? Like, what the fuck is helping that thing fly? And how much does that cost? Jennifer Thorpe, Trump is in New Jersey. That's what they are after. I don't surprise. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, nothing surprises me. Nothing shocks me. And that's why it's good to never rule anything out, right? Always look at every angle of everything. I really appreciate that compliment. I am getting a little more comfortable with these lives. I'm not going to lie. I was still nervous as shit prior to getting on them. You could tell I'm comfortable, right? I'm sipping out of water and coffee. But guys, let me try to find this article discussing what these drones might be up to. It was really interesting. Hold on one second. Oh, man, what was it? I should have kept that one up. I don't know why I took that tab down. Give me a minute, guys. I'm going to find the article because it was really, like I said, it was really interesting what these things are capable of. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that they're capable of, right? You know what? In the meantime, let me pull this up. This is interesting. Maybe this will help answer one of my questions. It says, can you shoot them down? I'm not even going to pull that article up. We all know the answer to that. You can't shoot at anything in the tri-state area. You can't even shoot at a fucking burglar in your own house in some of these states. So why waste our time even looking at if it's legal or if it's not? We all know the answer to that. So guys, bear with me. Sorry about that. Maybe this is the article. And if I can't find it exactly, I'll just pull up. Oh yeah, here it is, guys. I found it. This was really interesting because it spoke about multiple payloads and what it could be. And we're not talking about bombs necessarily, or, you know, radiation or chemicals. Not that these things aren't capable of that, but check this out, guys. This was really interesting. Was this it? Okay. Give it a second. Like I said, there's always a fray. And then I also got to make the screen bigger and fucking ads. Always ads on the New York Post. Love the New York Post, but it's always ad. And guys, I check multiple sites. Like even though I'm pulling up this particular article, you know, you guys can pull up on Google, and it's interesting some of this stuff. Like when you look at what some of these drones are capable of, what some of our military drones are already being used for outside of military strikes and things that, you know, come to mind first, right? There's a lot of different things that these things are used for. So guys, check it out. This is coming from, let me tell you who said this. The feds have been mum about the daily drone activity in Morris, Passaic, Bergen, and Hunterdon counties. Once again, that's Jersey. But several experts said the U.S. government might be behind the unsettling flights, which could be part of a super secret military program meant to test new hardware before it hits the battlefield. Once again, guys, look at that. Drone looks pretty big. It's got 3 lights. It's definitely not an airplane. Very interesting. But check out this guy. Check out what this guy said. He's a retired Navy SEAL. His name is Clint Emerson. In quotes, my first guess is these are potentially government programs kept within what's known as Special Access Program, which is purposely put together to keep even the most cleared people out. It truly is to keep it secret, said Clint, a retired Navy SEAL and owner of a security company.
Full tennis.
Yeah.
We got nothing to worry about.
Let's
If you
continue
trade for
what he
Morgan
said.
Stanley, we're ready for
That's
whatever gets
why the
served.
government
Dude, you
likes,
gotta work
we
on your
don't
chest,
know.
I'd rather work on saving for
Being
retirement.
truthful, he said,
College.
adding that the circle
Since you
could
like
be
to
as
get
small as
schooled.
a dozen officials.
Right?
They don't even know the program exists.
Thanks for coming to our
Now, that's
clinic.
something I definitely
First one's
believe, right?
free.
You know,
Went
we
outside.
all look in this country at
That's
the
my
president
point, and this is
and all
over
these
my
other
house
key
right
figures.
What
All
is
of us
that?
who are kind of alert and know things, right? It's common sense to know that there's folks behind the scenes pulling a lot of strings, where even some of the people that we think know things obviously don't fucking know things. Now, I'm not saying everybody's clueless, but guys, let's not forget this is the United States of America, and to think there aren't people constantly behind the scenes, you'd be a little naive. So anyway, now let's go into exactly what he thinks that these things are doing. So, but he suspects the technology they're carrying is not the devices themselves. It could be different types of collection capabilities. So different types of cameras like high definition, infrared, or thermal. Right? They could be testing out all these different types of cameras, right? Looking at what they can pick up, how close and granular they can get. And they're doing it over civilian areas. A second payload, for instance, could be hardware that grabs all the cell phone data in a given environment. How much data can we collect with this? Let's say we got 10 drones, they fly in a grid. How much cell phone traffic can we
It's
pick
basically
up?
tennis for babies.
Not actual conversations, but just
It should
a
be called
signature
wiffle tennis.
of millions of cell phones. What can 10 drones pick up going over an area?
We got nothing to worry about. If you trade for Morgan Stanley, we're ready for whatever gets served.
Test, he said.
gotta work on your trash talk.
Now, what he's saying is they're not invading your privacy. That's
Or
legitimate
college.
data. And that's what you guys think about some of this stuff. So let me check in the chat. I see a lot of chit chat going on. I love it. I love it. Talking about where you guys are from. Triple O, what's up? Appreciate you jumping in here. We just freed up $10 billion to Iran. Let's go, Brandon. Goddamn right, man. $10 billion. You believe this shit? You believe? Man, I can't imagine how many motorcyclists are killed in New York State alone because of the fucking potholes that they don't fix, let alone give $10 billion to Iran. Someone should look into that. How many fatalities in New York State for motorcycle riders with potholes that haven't been fixed in years, and we're giving Iran $10 billion. Thanks for dropping that in the chat. Yeah, Leah, you're right. When we were talking about the drones earlier, normal people can't afford drones of that size. It's crazy. Amy mentioned the Federal Acquisition Regulatory Council. Interesting. I haven't heard of those folks. They're also changing how you can acquire drones. Very interesting. I got to look into that. Jay Velo, glad I stumbled onto this live. Big shout out. Hey, I really appreciate that. We just started doing stuff like this on this channel. We're all free thinkers. We're having open conversations, and that's it. So appreciate you jumping on. And we're going to share some more news in a minute, share some more articles. Guys, we're an hour in this. I'm going to keep it going, and that's it. Triple O, there you go. Interesting. DMW Shots. What's up? Appreciate you always being in here as well. Guys, that's a fellow New Yorker. Go check him out. Also does a lot of live streams. Always appreciate his support. And just got to show love, man. Appreciate you always being in here. So, like I said, guys, let me know what you think. What do you guys think? Maybe I should do a poll. Let me see if I could do a poll in let me see if I could do a poll in here. That'd be really interesting. Like I said, a lot of this shit is new to me, but hold on, guys. All right, we're going to start a poll. You guys ready? All right, guys, just threw a question in the poll. You guys let me know what you think. That's just one question. And guys, let me pull up something else because like I said, there's so much to cover. I know we've already been on for an hour, but I just wanted to touch on a few more things. Once again, too, right? It's not when I brought up the guy from the FBI earlier, and I said I was breaking his balls for investigating this for over a month and not finding out anything. Remember, guys, it's not just the FBI, DOD, DHS, the FBI, local agencies. It's pretty insane that this stuff is going on. North Korea and China. Yeah, hey, listen, they're all working together, these folks. It's really interesting. It's really interesting, right? The type of collaboration a lot of these folks have. And once again, I'm not saying that that's the case, but it is what it is. Now, guys, check this out. I'm going to pull up this article. This goes back to 2021. This has been happening for years, guys. A lot of drone invasions, zero answers. It seems like these things almost happen on an annual basis in different geographical parts of the country. I'm going to pull this up, get swept under the rug. Once again, we live in a day and age. People have technology, so they're capturing these things, but we're not getting any answers. And not only are we not getting any answers from Thanksgiving in the last 30 days, we're not getting any answers from fucking 3 to 5 years of this stuff. So guys, let me share this with you. And I encourage all of you to go out there and also look at all of the credible drone stuff that's out there. And this is really documented right here, guys. This is from the NPR News, Colorado Stories. Like I said earlier, this stuff has been happening not only in New York, New Jersey, PA. We spoke about Virginia, spoke about Langley Air Force Base. Now, guys, we're going to Colorado. Check this out. Documents indicate, let me know if you guys can see my screen. Apologize if there is always that little lag, but documents indicate how little officials knew about mysterious drones last year. Look at the date on this, guys. Once again, reoccurring pattern, right? Officials knew nothing about Langley Air Force Base. How that is possible, I don't fucking know. But now they know nothing about this one either. Look at this. Just before the coronavirus pandemic hit last year, Eastern Colorado was center stage for a kind of whodunit. Ranchers, farmers, and even a few deputy sheriffs described mysterious drones flying in the night skies. Once again, guys, repeat pattern. We're not just talking about some fucking wackadoo with a YouTube channel out there saying he saw something. We're seeing it from business owners, we're hearing it from pilots, we're hearing it from local law enforcement in all of these situations. It's not just from a few people. A report on UAPs, once again, unidentified aerial phenomena, which I probably, forgive my New York accent, released last month by National Intelligence. Officials didn't say anything about the sightings in Colorado. So KUNC, I'm assuming that's a media channel, asked whether anyone ever solved the mystery about what the objects were, and if they were drones, who was flying them. The short answer was no. Now, this left a different guy, right? Now we're talking about a different guy in the government, U.S. Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado, greatly concerned. Now, guys, once again, the article's from 2021, but it's talking about what happened in 2020. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, right? Getting to the bottom of these phenomena. I hate that word. His office said in a statement to Kunk, is a national security imperative. For a few weeks, once again, a repeat pattern in Virginia, duration of 17 days in the Northeast right now. This has been going on since Thanksgiving. Now, we're going back to 2020. For a few weeks around New Year's in 2020, once again, the end of the year, the state was in national spotlight news. Reports described drones flying in weird, grid-like patterns. Some journalists even chronicled their own close encounters. A KUNC story at the time featured Ray Marie Knowles, who shot a grainy video of an object with flashing lights making buzzing noises over her house north of Kiowa. She says she encountered dozens more of what appeared to be drones that night, January 4th, 2020, apparently flying in some kind of pattern. They're big and the undercarriage is lit up, Knowles said. You can tell it's not any kind of plane or anything like that. You can see the outline in the dark. So guys, this must have been something that was pretty low flying. Once again, reports, at least from what we're hearing out of the Northeast, these things can fly anywhere from 500 feet off the ground to 10,000 feet in the air. From his home in Maryland, Douglas Johnson took note of the news reports. One of the things I noticed early on is that some of the activity reported was near Warren Air Force Base, he said. My attention was piqued by that. Interesting, another type of military installation, right, guys? Spoke about Picatinny Arsenal in New Jersey, spoke about Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. Now we are talking about Warren Air Force Base in Colorado. Sorry about that. Had to take a sip. All right. Let's keep going, man. This is interesting, right? Johnson is a volunteer researcher with the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies, a think tank that uses scientific methods for trying to explain mysterious objects in the sky. Warren Air Force Base near Cheyenne interested him because it is tasked with securing dozens of active nuclear missile silos on the plains in Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado. The Colorado sightings might fit a pattern he's tracking, something less mystifying than UFOs, but no less perplexing. Government officials taking reports of drones near 24 nuclear power facilities across the country. And it just goes on and on, right? I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but guys, this has been, I had on the air too long. I just started researching a lot of this stuff, and already we're seeing a repeat pattern. We're seeing military installations. We're seeing long durations of activity, right? 2 weeks plus, and no fucking answers, regardless how many agencies are involved. We're getting no answers, and we're also getting, not only we're getting no answers, we're not getting any reassuring security from our officials that these things don't pose a threat. Everyone's saying that they don't know, but no one's saying that we guarantee your safety. So let me look into the chat, see if there's anything else going on. DMW shots. Where is the Pentagon and Homeland at? Yeah, who knows? I think they're in bed eating ice cream with Biden. I think those guys were watching, what's that movie? I think they were watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They're having some rainbow sherbet. I think they probably fell asleep at about 7:30. Jay Velo. A few years back, I managed to get a picture of a similar event over the Taconic. Interesting. Happened 3 times over a few days. People said I was making it up until I managed to get the picture. Very interesting, man. You know, that area around the Taconic, not surprising. Not surprising. You know, you have a lot of stuff over there too, which is pretty interesting. DMW shots. It's also happening at U.S. bases in the UK. Something's going on. Something is definitely going on. Now, what really intrigues me is how the fuck is nobody shooting these things down, right? Like, how are you letting things just fly around out there and not taking them down? Seems like the quickest way to get an answer would be to get one of these things on the ground and do a little bit of an investigation. But hey, that's just me. What do I know? Just went back and found the picture. 2019, December 12th. Hey, Jay Velo, if you want, I'm going to continue this. We're going to do a whole series of this, right? We might talk about this multiple times. Like I said, me and a special guest, we are going to go out this weekend and do further coverage. If you want to email me that picture, I will pull that up during my next live stream. I'd love to see it, especially being off of the Taconic. So I appreciate you sharing that. Leah, Bongino was saying months ago that there were things flying around his house in Florida. That was probably just Biden's FBI agents. Just kidding. Not surprised. Listen, my cousin's in Florida. A lot of activity in Florida. Florida's actually home to some of our largest bases as well. DMW shots. Either way, data collecting, that means that they can send something with a payload to cause catastrophic damage. Absolutely. Absolutely. Triple O. During a congressional hearing on Tuesday, Smith said an officer saw 50 drones coming in off the ocean earlier this week. He also said that a U.S. Coast Guard commanding officer station. Yeah, so you know what? I didn't bring that up earlier. I'm glad you did. I did hear about that. So guys, there was a U.S. Coast Guard ship that was actually being tailed by a dozen or so of these drones off the East Coast, which was very, very interesting. You know, Leah, you would think that they can jam the sights on some of these things. You would think that that's the case. That's why I said I'm just very perplexed on why no action has been taken. Very interesting. Guys, I don't want to drag this out too long. We've been on for about an hour and 20 minutes tonight. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I think we covered a lot. I think we're asking a lot of questions. I think we want a lot of fucking answers, and I don't think we're going to get them. With that being said, we are going to stay on top of the story. We would have been out tonight. The weather is shit in New York. It's shit in the tri-state. So this weekend, guys, stay tuned. I don't know if we're going to do yet Friday night or Saturday night. We're going to get out there. We're going to do some live streaming. We might even be at one of these locations that we discussed in the Northeast. But really appreciate everyone out there. Can't thank you guys enough. Stay tuned. We're just getting started. Much love, and see you guys soon.